Today we're going to make a custom tray using Tinkercad, and I'm going to show you how you can make it within Tinkercad and with your own design. I also have a bunch of other Tinkercad tutorials if you want to check those out if you're just starting out with 3D printing or 3D modeling, making custom designs for your 3D prints as a crafter or small business, so feel free to check those out. I also have an entire playlist filled with all of my 3D print tutorials if you just want to watch the tutorials and not the other videos I have. However, you are more than welcome to check out my entire channel because I'd love to see you in my comment section. Alright, let's just jump right into it. We are on Tinkercad. You can name it whatever name you want up here at the upper left hand corner. I already named mine. It's supposed to say custom tray. I don't know what happened there. For our unit, it is in millimeters. Whenever you open up Tinkercad and make a new project within Tinkercad, the default measurements or units will be in millimeters. You can always change it to inches if you prefer inches instead of millimeters, but it will be millimeters by default. On the right hand side, you'll see all of the shapes that Tinkercad comes with under the basic shapes section. They also have a bunch of other shapes that you can look through and choose what you want, especially if you're just starting out with 3D printing. I highly recommend Tinkercad. All you have to do is go online, tinkercad.com. You don't have to download anything. You just have to make an account, and it's really fun to use. Our tray is actually a pretty easy project. I know a lot of people have been asking me how to make your own tray, and I'm going to show you the basics of it. I'm not going to go too detailed into it, but you can always watch my other tutorials, and you can apply skills you learned in this tutorial and my other tutorials for your future projects. So everything will kind of be building off of the other projects that we make together. I'm yapping a little too much. First, you want to drag a cube or a cylinder, whatever shape you'd like your tray to be, and you want to make it larger. You can make it a rectangle or you can make it like this. Just play around with it. And notice how your numbers change. Those are your measurements. And remember, mine right now is in millimeters. So this is 80 millimeters by 70 millimeters, not inches. You can make yours as wide or as small as you'd like. What we want to do here is we want to cut a hole within here that doesn't go all the way straight through, because if you're trying to make a tray, you don't want a hole to go entirely through the back wall, or else it'll just be an outline of a square and you don't have anything to hold your items with. You see these striped shapes up here above the solid shapes? These are what makes the holes in your solid shape. So there's a box, there's a cylinder, and then there's a sphere. You can decide what kind of shape you want your hole to be. I'm just choosing the cube. What I like to do is I like to look at it from above so I can see how big the square is for my tray, and I just adjust it like this. Don't worry if it's misaligned, because Tinkercad has a tool that allows you to align your objects perfectly. You just select all of your objects and click this right here. It says align, or you can hit the L key on your keyboard if you want a shortcut. These circles will pop up. Now, notice how every circle that you hover over gives you a preview of what your object will look like after you click it. I want mine to be aligned in the middle, right in the center. So I click the middle for these, but you can always choose any other alignment you want. And I want it to be half here, which it seems like it already is. Now we want to see how deep we want our hole to be. You can use this triangle button up here. Make sure that you have the whole object selected, or else if you click this one, it'll move this one instead. So make sure this is selected, and notice how when you hold it down and drag it, there's a little dotted line that shows at the bottom. That's the bottom of your hole, so it will tell you where it will cut the hole out. Remember, we don't want it all the way down there, because if we do, it will create a hole through the box and we're not going to have a tray. We're just going to have an outline of a square. Do you see that measurement on the right side with the arrow pointing up? That tells you the depth. So it'll be 9 millimeters tall if I have it up here, and if I lower it, it'll be 2 millimeters tall. This is entirely your preference for how thick you want the bottom to be, but don't make it 1 to 2 millimeters. I think that might be too thin depending on what you're trying to use your tray for, but I like to make mine 3 to 5 millimeters thick. It looks like this. Now all you want to do is group them together by selecting everything and clicking this group button or hitting Ctrl G. And you'll see there's a hole inside of your square and you have a simple tray. I'm showing you this as the basic steps for how to create a tray. You can also adjust the height of your tray. If this is too tall for you, select this middle square right here. This middle square will adjust how tall or short your object is. You bring it down, makes it shorter, makes it taller. Tinkercad also has an option for you to color your objects in, so you can preview it before you print it and see what color you want it to be. This is also perfect for if you're trying to make sticky note holders. You want to use these basic steps for more detailed designs, but this will help you get used to how to put things together and create trays. And always make sure that you group all of your objects together before you export it, or else it will export it as separate pieces. Now that I've showed you the basic steps for how to create a tray, I'm going to show you how I do that with a custom drawing that I have. The drawing is an SVG. Make sure that you convert all of your images to SVGs before you try to import it into Tinkercad, because they do need to be SVG files. I've imported one of my silhouettes of a flower I drew into Tinkercad. When you import your images into Tinkercad, you can adjust the quality of your images. So the higher it is, the better quality it is, and you can see the difference when you lower it and increase it. I'm gonna make mine pink, of course. What we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the same exact steps that we did for this one, which was pretty easy. Just resize your shape first for how big you want your tray to be. Another tip for if you're trying to resize an image, but you wanna keep the ratios, you see if I drag this, it gets wonky easily. The key is to hold down the shift key when you're dragging this corner. So press your shift key, make sure you're holding it, and then drag it, and it should lock your ratio in place. There are several different ways that you can do this. You can again use one of these hole shapes that you see and create a hole within your object to make a tray. Or if you want your tray to have the same exact outline or silhouette of your original image, you can duplicate this, copy and paste it, and you can make this a hole. You can drag it on top and then make it smaller. Bring it up. Do the same thing we did with the other one. Align it in the center. You see how it already makes a hole within it, and there is a little outline there. Now we just lower it a bit, making sure there's at least 3 to 5 millimeters of space. And now you have a fancy tray. Again, this is just a beginner tutorial for those who are trying to figure out how to make your own tray shapes. You can either paint your design on here, but make sure that you are sealing your paint if you're using acrylic paint with some kind of resin or some kind of top coat that protects the paint. But these are two ways you can make it. You can make a simple one like this for sticky notes, or you can make one that has a shape to it. I added my details to my design, but this is how my flower looks. I have a simple square tray and I have a flower tray. You can also, after you group your shapes together, you can scale it from there. But that is the easiest way that you can make your very own custom tray if you're trying to 3D print it or add it to your small business. Again, please feel free to check out my other beginner-friendly 3D printing and modeling tutorials where I teach Tinkercad and Nomad for beginners. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see next in the comments below, so please do leave suggestions. I read all of my comments and try my best to respond to everybody. I hope to see you in my next video, and until then, goodbye!